So, ladies and gentlemen, the form is so up and down at Taunton Town that we've got 2 games left in the season, and I have literally no idea if we're ending up in the playoffs or not. Welcome back to part 17 of our Zero to Hero series, where we are playing with Taunton Town in the National League. And as you can see, the form is still literally all over the place. We had those 2 wins against Scunthorpe and Oldham in our last episode. I then lost 5-0 to Aldershot. I mean, that was a little bit of a thumping, let's be honest. From there, we then had a 1-0 win against Chippenham, and then we've lost 4-1 to Southend. So at this point, we have literally no idea what's going on. Today, we play Maidstone, who are currently 22nd in the league, and then Bromley, who are 5th, so in those playoff positions. For our part, as you can see, we are in 9th place on 67 points. We do have Aldershot on 68 points, Solihull Moors on 70, Bromley, who we play today, on 72. Woking are just above us on goal difference as well. So a lot of stuff could change here today. We're just going to have to play these 2 games, and tomorrow's episode is either the playoffs or it's rebuilding for next season. The other thing we are keeping an eye on, though, is this could be our last 2 games in charge of Taunton Town. If we're having a look at this, we are wanted by Derby and by Wycombe. And if we go and have a quick glance at them for a second, we can obviously see Derby and Wycombe both in League 1, 14th and 8th currently. So not bad teams to have a look at. Derby especially would be an interesting one after all their administrative and financial problems over the last few seasons. That could be an interesting challenge. Wycombe as well, not doing too badly. I think there's 1 game left in League 1, so they're unlikely to change too much. Derby could still, I believe, end up in the playoffs? Question mark. They could if MK Dons were to drop some points and some other things. So they could end up in the playoffs. But obviously, because of that, as I say, we could be about to do our last 2 games in charge of Taunton Town just because of, again, how we play the game, the realism of it. And obviously, if those clubs come in and they're a step up and want to pay some decent money towards us, then we would be looking at potentially moving on, I think. For that first match then against Maidstone, this is going to be our lineup today. We've got Horlick in goal, Sweeney, Wakely, Sona and Sese as our back 4. Firth, Gaspar, Turner and Farr in midfield behind Amadou Holloway, and Taylor Crossdale up front. You can see we are playing the 4-4-2 today. I think we're more comfortable in this one, and it should do the job against Maidstone. Up front, Asante is injured. He has been for the last couple of games. Definitely not fit enough to play this one. And Jaden Williams is out, suspended for the last 2 matches of the season after picking up a red card. Not exactly ideal. It means these are our 2 only strikers available at the club. I mean, we could drop back to something like this if we needed to, but realistically, probably not at the moment. Maybe that's something we do at half time. Depends really on what we're looking like in the match at the time. If you do enjoy today's episode though, please do drop a like down below. It would be very, very much appreciated. And we're just going to jump straight into this one. While we're waiting for this one to load, obviously it is, at time of recording, I'm recording not too long after the Senegal versus England game. By the time you're seeing this, it should be Wednesday, if I've made this all correctly in my head. What do we think is going to be the result of that England versus France quarter-final on Saturday? What are your predictions? Let me know down in the comments below. Are we going to do anything against France? Are we going to get utterly battered? Where do you sit on that one? Is it coming home or is it going to all end on Saturday? Let me know down below. But focusing on the game then, Wakely just pumping the ball forward to absolutely no one. The problem we have got today, though, is Amadou Holloway definitely does not have the same pace as Asante and Jaden Smith. He hasn't been in fantastic form, really, since joining the club either. He is very much a bit part player, so that is kind of understandable. Taylor Crossdale, as we know, is and has always been in pretty decent form, but whether he can turn up and carry our front line today without his normal partners partnering him up front is yet to be seen. We have got a Maidstone corner here. Obviously, as well, I talk about us breaking potentially into the playoffs. What we are going to need to do is win both of our games, and as I mentioned in the intro part of this, our form is still horribly dodgy. I don't feel, even if we did get to the playoffs, we'd get promoted this season. I think it'd be quite dangerous to get promoted because I think we would get eaten alive in League 2 at the moment for a start. But equally, I said this last season heading into playoffs, it does tend to be the teams that are in good form that tend to win the playoffs rather than the team that's had the best season. You quite often maybe... I mean, last season, I think, I can't remember who it was in second place in the South. Oh, that was close. In the South League. But I think they got knocked out by 7th place, if I remember rightly, in the playoffs and didn't make it to the final. So we need to go into that, if we're going to do it, in good form. At the moment, we're not really offering a lot against Maidstone. So all of that point kind of means nothing unless we can go and get a win here. I mean, guys, pump the fist. We've been the better team. I mean, that's a complete and utter lie, really, isn't it? But if it keeps the team happy and motivates them to go and do better in the second half, then that's what we should tell them. If we keep up like this much longer, though, we are going to have to switch back to the diamond in order to, you know, just try and offer a bit more of an attacking threat. Maidstone are still all over us, and Maidstone have now gone 1-0 up after that free kick. And before we even see the highlight of that, we've got to switch over to this diamond. We are a lot more attacking like this. Right, what do we do? Sweeney, Wakely, Stoner, Say obviously stay there. Far is a bit of an issue. I think I'll actually put Far back here instead of Say. He can't play in there. So who can play there? Gaspar can play there. So we move him. Turner stays there. Firth can't play there. I don't think can play anywhere through the centre. So we've got to take Firth off. We bring on Lawson Darth for him. And then Say obviously can't play here. So we need to bring on someone for him, which is probably Ethan Robb. And then these two stay like that. We've had to make 2 substitutions in order to make this tactic work. But hopefully it allows us to go and do something here. This is just ridiculous. I mean, it is essentially just a very, very short corner, that free kick, because of its placement. We are going to go attacking straight away. We're going to encourage the team as well. We've got to get back into this. Hopefully this is the way we do it. Amadou Holloway taking that free kick there. Gaspar has got it. Oh, he's got tackled instantly. Maidstone have kicked it away straight into one of our players. Turner has got there to nick possession back before it gets too far into a counter-attack for Maidstone. And another one launched into the box, but it is just pumped away by the team in orange. Not in red at all. In a colour that isn't white. Once again, forward to Taylor Crossdale there. He is into the box. He does put it in the back of the net for his 20th goal of the season. The diamond formation making an instant sort of impact there. Meaning we're getting an instant reply. Now what we need to do is go and get a second one very, very quickly. That was really good from the team to go and regain possession there really quickly. Turner doing his absolute best to get us back into this tie. Do we play for set pieces? Yeah, we'll do it. We'll just praise the team for a minute. Drop a bit of praise on them. Hopefully they react well to that. Sometimes that has a negative effect, but we'll go with it. Sweeney pretty much open over on the left, bringing the ball forward. He is tackled, though. That's not so good. And Wakely not trusting Horlick to get hold of it. Gaspar now pumping it forward to Amadou Holloway. It is a little bit all over the place here. It is very, very cagey. We look very nervous, and we have just conceded a second goal as well. Oh, this end of season is going completely wrong for us. Amadou Holloway is looking very, very tired as well. Maidstone have just carved us apart here. Literally, that ball lost by Sweeney. He couldn't get back quick enough. That's left Carleen over here, completely empty. Completely clear, just to pump that ball into the box. We do really need to do something else now, which probably involves another substitution. But the problem is we don't really have anyone to bring on for Amadou Holloway. Jaden Smith and Asante being out is causing us all sorts of problems. And a lack of a promotion means we probably don't have them next season. Zico Asare is going to come on for Far. He's not having exactly a fantastic game. Gaspar now back to Wakely off of this free kick. Wakely into the box to Darth. Pulls his shot wide. If that had hit the back of the net, once again, we'd be back in it. In a shout of getting into those playoff positions. I mean, at the moment, we are on 67 points. We need to win this match. It's looking very unlikely we do it. And that is probably, I'd imagine then, the end of our season. We are going to go very attacking for the last few minutes of this tie just to try and get 1 point on the board, maybe. But it doesn't look like we're doing that. And that is, I'd imagine, the end of our chances to get in the playoff positions. I mean, losing to 22nd place Maidstone in the league after the season we've had. Yeah, I think that signals the end of it. I mean, Aldershot are on 71 points. The maximum we can get is 3. No playoffs for us next season then. That is very, very disappointing. We have still got a game to play. Wrexham have been named crown champions. Aren't they like massively ahead? They are quite a bit ahead. How have they only just been crown champions? How have they only just been crown champions? Look how many points ahead they are. Oh, we have got one more game. It is against Bromley. We're going to go and play it anyway. We'll kind of see what happens towards the end of this season. If we get anything interesting happen, be back in a second. So our final match of the season then is here against Bromley. Our lineup for this one is Horlick in goal, Sweeney, Wakely, Williams and Farr as our back four. Gaspar, Turner, Chavez, Moniz and Darth is our midfield diamond. And then Asante and Taylor Crossdale up front. I wish we had had Asante or Jaden Smith, either one of those, to partner Martel Taylor Crossdale up front last match. Obviously, like I said, this did involve us basically winning both matches in order to break into those playoffs. Or if we hadn't got beaten 5-0 by Aldershot, that probably would have helped as well. Because they would have dropped points. We would have snuck into the into playoff positions. It's not been the best end to the season. Again, we say it's not been the best end to the season because we were close to the playoffs, but the fact we were close to the playoffs at all, oh jeez, we're 1-0 down. The fact that we were close to the playoff positions at all when we were realistically just expected to fight bravely against relegation, I think this is fighting pretty bravely against relegation. My problem with this now is our best players, Asante, Jaden Smith, are both going to want to leave. They've both said right at the start of the season that they wanted to explore other options at the end of their contract. And now we're not getting promoted or in a shout with promotion. You would think that's the end of their career at Taunton Town. Charlie Farr has just also got an injury, and I haven't put a right back on the bench. This is what happens when you get your assistant manager to quick pick your team. He does stuff like this. I mean, we're going to have to play Rosari Williams there and then bring Nico Lawrence on and just, yeah, kind of do that. Why hasn't that worked? Why is it taking Rosari Williams off? I want to put Williams there. There we go. Stupid game. Yeah, don't let your assistant manager quick pick your teams because they do awful jobs of it. The fact that my assistant manager keeps telling me that we need to not play this diamond because it means we can't play Nelson Ashcroft, our 1.5-star left or right midfielder in the team, and he is one of our most important players, tells me that he is full of shit. Either way, maybe that's something we need to address in the summer transfer window. Maybe we need to have a look at our assistant manager and start asking some questions about whether or not we trust him to help us lead Taunton to promotion, because he doesn't seem to really know how good the players are, which is something you obviously get at this level. We can only sort of use the staff that are available to us, and some of the staff that are available to us at this level aren't exactly fantastic. So, we need to make a substitution, and there are a few players that are tired on the pitch. Turner, he has done an awful job of selecting this team, really, hasn't he? I mean, we're just going to not make the substitution. I think we just are going to have to rely on the assistant manager telling us what he recommends we do, even though we've just said he's awful. We've got nothing to play for now. We'll just let the lads have a little bit of a run out. It's a bit of a end of season fitness game. It would be nice to get something out of this for the fans, and obviously we could affect Bromley's form going into the playoffs. Not that we've got anything against Bromley, but for equal treatment. If we can beat you, we'll beat you. Turner with a corner into the box to Wakely here. Come back out to Turner, over to Williams. Turner again has a shot on his bad foot, I think, and it is very, very close to the goal, but not going to get one in the back of the net. As I said, our end of season form has been fairly pitiful. I'd love to see Asante score, if nothing else, because this is very likely to be his last game for the club. Declan Firth, we said you can't play anything in the centre, can you? So I think he just comes on for Sweeney over there. Sweeney's on a yellow, and I don't really fancy finishing this game with only 10 men, despite it being the last day of the season, and Amadou Holiday's just going to come on for Martel Taylor-Crossdale. So Martel Taylor-Crossdale and come off to a little bit of an ovation, a little bit of applaud from the fan. We got loads of yellow cards there. We've lost our last game 1-0. Asante hasn't scored in any of his last games for the club. He's been out injured. It's a very, very sad end, I feel, to a player that's been so important to this team. It would have been really nice to see him get a proper send-off. I haven't seen yet either the budgets or anything yet, so we'll see if we manage to get the budgets before we get to the next episode, or whether we're going to have to get to the next episode. Alex Fletcher has asked for an official transfer request at Bath. Or that makes me very interested. Watch this space, because Alex Fletcher was amazing for us at Bath. I would love to have him at the club. Have they transfer listed him? It doesn't look like they have yet. I don't know he's going to be a player we can get either. Our initial budget is there. Oh God. Initial budget for next season. Wage budget £8,000 per week, and a transfer budget at 0. Despite saying that our minimum guaranteed budget would be £17. They haven't even given us that. We're currently spending £7,237 and committed spend of just under £7. So we got about £1,000 of wage budget to play with. We look forward to doing the summer transfer window tomorrow though. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please do drop a like down below and join me tomorrow as we start rebuilding Taunton for season 3 and hopefully the playoffs next season. Bye bye.